Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and looked in at the stripes of linen that were there, but he didn't go in. Then Simon Peter, who was behind him, arrived and went into the tomb. He saw the stripes of linen lying there, as well as the burial cloth that had been around Jesus' head. The cloth was folded by itself, separate from the linen. Finally, the other disciple who had reached the tomb first also went inside. He saw and believed. They still did not understand from scriptures that Jesus had to rise from the dead. Now, it's interesting that John, who was there first, but didn't go in first, he let Peter. Peter's bold as a lion, goes right in. But what did they see? And let's just look at that. They saw that the linen that had been wrapped with 3 cords around a dead body was just like somebody had evaporated out of it and was still there. The only thing that was folded up was the thing that was around Jesus' head. Jesus is orderly and neat. So when he was raised from the dead, he folded it up. Now, we just saw last night the Shroud of Turin. And they were talking about how to keep the image on this cloth had to be tremendous power and radiation that took place, and how even the cloth around the head totally matches the Shroud of Turin, but it was bloodier, which it would have been because Jesus' face would have been very bloody. How interesting. But why does it say that John believed? Because it looked like somebody had evaporated out of that. It was still in the shape of somebody that would have been in there, but no longer there. And he believed.
Amen.
And so what we're celebrating today is that he is no longer in there. And we believe, amen?
Amen.
And it says then that the disciples went back to their homes, but Mary stood outside the tomb crying. This is a typical woman. She's the first one there, and then she didn't get what was going on. She figured somebody stole the body. She didn't see what John saw and believed. And so now she's weeping and bent over the tomb, and 2 angels in white seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and the other the foot, said, "Why, woman, are you crying?" Boy, I think we have a lot of angels asking us that. "They have taken my Lord away," she said, "and I don't know where they have put him." At this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't realize it was Jesus. Isn't that a woman? Right in front of you, the very answer you're looking for, and you're not getting it. Oh my goodness, how many of us are that way, right? "Woman," he said, "why are you crying? Who is it that you're looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener. That's a pretty big discrepancy there. He thought she was the gardener. Okay. "Sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you've put him, and I'll go get him." And Jesus said, "Mary." One word from the Lord saying your name, and she knows right away. She turned around and cried out in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher, master. And Jesus said, "Do not hold on to me. I have not returned to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them, I'm returning to my Father and your Father, to my God and to your God." And Mary Magdalene went with the disciples to tell them the news. "I've seen the Lord," and she told them what he had said. Now, why is it that he said, "Don't hang on to me"? Because Jesus had just been raised from the dead, had not gone back into heaven to give his blood to put over the mercy seat. And we're going to talk about that later, because it needed to be poured out, because it's the blood that gives us atonement. And after that, then he was able to come back, and he comes, but he had to continue completing that which was started. And then he was able, that's why it says, "Don't hang on to me," because he was continuing what he was supposed to do, taking his blood that was poured out, and now would be ever living over the mercy seat in heaven, which we'll discuss a little bit later. But I want you to understand this is Communion Sunday and Resurrection Sunday, so we're going to be talking about that, and I want us to realize what we're celebrating.
Where can I find you when we're me alone. But you say you're ready now, and that you're wanting to leave very soon. Don't go too far now, be careful along the way. Remember all that I taught you. The world is so much fun, and I'm so glad that I left. I'm having such a great time. I hope it never ever ends. Nearly a year has passed, but I don't have any more. I should have spent that more wisely. What would my father say? Oh Lord, what would he do if he knew? The days are fading, I haven't heard a word in nearly 18 long months. I've prayed a long, long time in hopes of seeing his face, so I can know that he's alright. I started thinking about the servants back home, how they have much more than I do. What if I became one of them, and I went back just for the food? It would be better than this here. Yes, I think that's what I'll do. Was dead, but now he's alive.